Good night, sweet dreams. That's what my dad would say to me. But sometimes I had trouble falling asleep. Then he would tell me stories about his travels. I want this tradition to live on. So now, let me share my stories with you. Dawn arrives, scattering morning light across the mahogany floorboards. I wrap both hands around a ceramic mug, its heat seeping into my fingers. I sit on an open-air terrace in Queensland, Australia. Nestled beneath a canopy of ferns, I soak in the first rays of sunlight over the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, Daintree National Park. Humidity lifts the scent of the forest and presses it close against my skin, and for a moment I feel like I'm waking up inside a greenhouse, scented by rich coffee, buttery pastries, and dew-covered earth. But when I tilt my head back, there's no glass roof above me. Instead, a kaleidoscope of fluttering lorikeets dart across the rainforest canopy. Their vibrant crimson, lemon bright yellow, and powdery cornflower blue flicker against the emerald sea of leaves. I can't help but scatter a handful of breadcrumbs for them. A rainbow of birds settles on the terrace in the blink of an eye, hopping to and fro to catch every crumb. They're even more stunning up close. I now see the soft yellow gradients fading into their green plumage, their red button eyes blazing in a shock of electric blue. Their breast feathers glow in a rich swirl of saffron and gold, just like their beaks, which curve as if they are grinning mischievously. Perhaps they know something about this forest that I haven't yet learned. Or, more likely, they're simply happy for the bread. I watch these birds, the most colorful creatures I've ever seen from this close, and enjoy a sip of perfectly roasted coffee. Notes of toffee and berry unfold in layers, as playful as the lorikeets chattering for a chance at a crumb of their own. I take slow, appreciative sips, listening to the rainforest rustle with life. Beneath the birdsong and humidity, something deeper hums through this place. I sit on the land of the Kuku-Yalanji, who call this place Kabakada, the rainy place. Covering over 1,200 square kilometers, the forest stretches all the way to the Great Barrier Reef. But even more impressive than its size is its sheer age. A World Heritage Site that's 180 million years old, 10 million years older than the Amazon. This forest has outlived dinosaurs and watched ice ages come and go. I imagine giant ferns swaying beneath ancient skies, the hush of snowfall on broad leaves. I glance up at trees that have stood for 3,000 years, their bark holding stories older than cities. The rainforest presses in from all sides, lush and alive, as if it's waking up with me. Chirping, croaking, twittering, and warbling fill the air around me better than any documentary could capture. Their echoes reverberate off trees glowing in the morning sun. If I wasn't already aware how much this forest has left for me to discover, I probably wouldn't have been able to tear myself away from the view and my colorful companions. But as it is, I get up after my last sip of coffee and grab my rucksack. I tighten the laces of my hiking boots and apply insect-repellent lotion. It's made from neem oil, which I can certainly smell as I rub the silky cream into my bare arms and legs. Bitter and earthy, the oil seems like a trustworthy protection against the many mosquitoes and other lurking insects. The scent dries down to mingle with the heavy nuances of the humid floral air. I'm reminded of moss, musk, citrus fruits, and adventure. With this feeling lightening my steps, I set off onto the wooden path that will lead me to my rainforest sojourn. The walkway rises above the ground on stilts to protect the fauna below. At the first crossing, I follow the signs pointing to Mossman Gorge. There are signs like these all over Australia's nature reserves, both to guide travelers and to remind them to follow the rules here, to protect nature, respect the land, and take measures to stay safe on their journeys. After all, this forest is home not only to cheerful parrots and harmless little frogs, but also to a variety of poisonous snakes, spiders, and amphibians, as well as the animal with the strongest bite in the world, the saltwater crocodile. I come across numerous signs warning of this danger, signs that also remind visitors to stick to safe, designated swimming spots. I chuckle a bit, somewhat relieved that I wasn't planning on going swimming at all. The path winds gradually downward in soft curves, each turn offering a new view of the forest. From this height, I see everything: trees wrapped in moss, vines with deep jade leaves hanging like swings, and ferns spilling across the ground like green waves. The air smells like earth and something sweeter that I can't name. I take a few slow steps with my eyes closed, breathing it in. The forest hums around me, a constant layered soundscape. With each step, the soundscape shifts, not louder or quieter, but different. It's like walking through a living orchestra. Insects buzz and chirr in overlapping rhythms. Frogs croak from somewhere low and hidden, and birds call in wild, unpredictable melodies. Some whistle, some shriek, some sing like they're the only voice in the world. A burst of laughter cuts through the canopy, loud, sharp, and sudden. It comes from just to my left, and for a moment I freeze, eyes flying open. It sounds almost human in its mischief, like someone playing a prank just out of sight. A kookaburra. It belongs to the kingfisher family, but is reportedly larger than the blue streaks I've seen darting across rivers in Europe. I scan the branches, hoping to spot the source of the laughter. And just as I'm about to give up, a flicker of motion catches my eye. And there it is, perched on a branch in perfect view. Brown and white feathers, head slightly tilted, eyes bright with something I can only describe as amusement. It holds my gaze for a second longer, then lets out another peal of laughter and vanishes into the dense green canopy. All around me, I can tell that just out of sight, there are hundreds of animals simply going about their daily business. I'm reminded of a word from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, sonder. The knowledge that every person, or every bird in my case, lives its own life, fully separate from one's own. And somewhere out there, going about its day unseen, might be a creature I've never met before. I would love to discover a helmeted cassowary. I've long been fascinated by this enormous bird. They are often called modern dinosaurs, and it's easy to see why. Tall and imposing, with a helmet of bone rising from their heads, and skin the color of iridescent sapphires. Of course, the chances are slim. Only around 4,000 remain in the wild, and most of them prefer to keep their secrets. I try to ignore the voice inside me whispering, "Yes, but this forest holds more cassowaries than any other." So instead I treat the cassowary as a symbol, a reminder to stay curious and to look closely. The forest is full of things I don't even know I'm looking for yet, and in doing so, I give myself a gift. Wherever I look, there will be something worth seeing. A curl of moss, a flash of wings, the wide, flaring roots of a giant tree anchoring it like a ship in the forest floor. I press my hand to its trunk. The bark is rough, warm from the sun, and the base is wider than my palm. This tree is likely thousands of years old. I wish I could speak to it, ask what it's seen, what it remembers. As I brush the dirt from my hands and continue walking, I idly daydream about what the trees here might tell me. Soon I'm passing the first quiet streams, likely fed by the Mossman River. The thought of a picnic on the bank fills me with hungry anticipation. My feet carry me in the direction of the steadily growing sound of rushing water. When I reach the gorge, I'm glad I waited to eat. The turquoise-green water flowing leisurely around smooth gray boulders provides the perfect backdrop for a break. Fan palms dotted along the bank invite me into their shade. I find a flat rock under the largest palm tree and settle down on the sun-warmed stone. The dappled light shifts across my arms as I stretch out, legs loose, back resting against the trunk. From my olive rucksack, I pull out a small lunchbox, still faintly cool to the touch. Inside, a miniature feast awaits me. A boiled egg, a handful of macadamias, a wedge of sharp cheddar, a few chunks of sweet pineapple, and a slice of damper, dense, hearty bread wrapped in paper. A little salty, a little sweet, and exactly what I need to recharge. The shadows of the round palm leaves cast a play of light on my legs. I follow them with my eyes as they ripple upward, tracing the letters of light and shade where it crosses the palm's tall trunk. I admire the patterns when suddenly I notice something move. At first I think it's just a flicker of shadow, but there it is again. Subtle but unmistakable. The tip of a long, slender tail. It coils slightly, then snaps to the side. I have to squint to make out the rest of its limbs, but I'm rewarded for my efforts with the shape of a lizard, so well camouflaged it could be part of the tree. It stares at me without blinking, as if we are playing a children's game of who can keep their eyes open the longest. Its scales catch a sliver of light, and I see that they are jagged along the spine, with ridges like old bark. The lizard turns its narrow angular head, crowned by a crest of tiny spines. It looks like something out of a myth, part dinosaur, part dragon, perfectly still, except for the occasional flick of its tail. This can only be a Boyd's forest dragon. The name makes perfect sense to me now. I watch the little dragon for a while longer as I enjoy my lunch. Sharp cheddar against soft bread, the buttery crunch of macadamia still lingering on my tongue. The last piece of pineapple finishes off my meal, its tangy sweetness savored beneath the shifting shade of the fan palm. When I finally stand and pack away my lunchbox, the lizard still hasn't moved, as if it's a guardian of this place or maybe just a quiet neighbor. I feel lighter somehow, like I've been entrusted with a secret. I nod in silent farewell and shoulder my rucksack. I decide to follow the circular trail that will take me around the gorge and eventually lead back to my lodging. I leave the fan palms and soft curves of the river behind as the path rises gently into thicker green. Pebbles crunch beneath my shoes and the air grows warmer and heavier. I'm grateful for the treetops' cooling shade, which keeps me from melting. The path winds gently around trees so strange and beautiful they feel imaginary. I pass a bull kauri rising like a pillar through the canopy. Its trunk is thick and impossibly tall, and its bark is the color of old stone. Nearby, a blue quandong tree scatters its namesake fruit along the ground, glossy and vibrant blue like marbles made from the sky. Then something else catches my eye, a tree with flowers growing straight out of its trunk. Pale buds cling to the bark like knots in wood, of which some have burst open into bright coral-like blossoms. Many have been nibbled, their petals torn in delicate bites. I pause at the foot of the tree and look up. This must be a bumpy setinash, a tree that makes its fruit available low to the ground, offering it to whatever creature might be passing through. I know one animal in particular that's especially fond of setinash fruit, the helmeted cassowary. It's one of the forest's most essential gardeners, roaming far and wide, feasting on berries and fruit, and then scattering their seeds with each step. Some trees depend on it entirely, their seeds unable to grow without first passing through the belly of a cassowary. It's another reason I keep my eyes and ears sharp on the trail back, scanning the undergrowth, listening for the heavy footsteps of this prehistoric creature. But I find no sign of the strange bird. At first I'm a little disappointed when I see the roof of my bungalow without having spotted a cassowary. But then I recall that it's their breeding season, and the males, who are the ones raising the chicks, tend to be especially aggressive this time of year. Perhaps it's for the best that I don't have a close encounter with those fearsome claws. Back in the bungalow, I exhale as I unlace my boots and slip them off. The walk is behind me now. I head to the outdoor shower and run cool water into the little tub tucked between the trees. I lower myself into the refreshing bath, and my whole body relaxes with me. My muscles soften, my shoulders release, even my neck gives in, loose and weightless. The last light filters down past the canopy in fading streaks of amber and red, painting the forest in a watercolor haze. The trees seem to change with it, becoming taller, gentler, almost glowing. New birds call from somewhere deep in the branches, their voices low and unfamiliar, like lullabies meant for the trees alone. I shiver as I rise to towel off, the cool air brushing my skin. Tomorrow I'll lace up my boots again, but for now I'll let the day go, piece by piece, until only stillness remains. I return to the terrace I sat on this morning and watch the forest shift with every passing minute. Shadows lengthening, light fading into a dusky glow. The sounds change too. Some I recognize, most I don't. But none of it feels strange. It feels calm, close. I breathe in slowly, letting the air fill me. Warm, green, alive. I wish I could keep it with me, tucked somewhere deep, where it won't fade. Settled into the soft, white bed, I hear the first drops of rain tap gently against the skylight above me. The sounds of the forest fade beneath it, softened as if wrapped in water. My body sinks deeper into the pillows. Every muscle gives way. The day drifts past behind my eyelids, slow and glowing, like a dream I've already begun to forget. The rain falls steady and quiet. It feeds the roots. It hushes the leaves. It cradles the world outside and embraces the room I'm sheltered in. And my last thought before drifting off is that this truly is the rainy place.